Hello, Cancer. It's Kendrick from Providence Tarot. Make sure you hit that like button, share the video, subscribe, and comment. Follow me on Instagram. It's Providence Tarot there, and my personal account is NYC Kendrick. And if you haven't subscribed again, go ahead and do that. Okay? So, Cancer, you all know I'm a Cancer moon. My Cancer moon is at 29 degrees of Cancer, and it is intense. Okay, I feel everything. I love me some animals. I cook down. Follow the tongue pop on Instagram. Seriously, do it. All right. I got two more. Creativity, yes. Learning how to be more creatively risk-taking. Okay. Yes, you know, don't apologize for what it is that makes you special. And don't feel intimidated by taking a risk or doing something that you've wanted to do but you've never done. We all have to try new things, right? It's an opportunity. It's a learning opportunity. Definitely. Okay? And you'll experience success when you allow yourself to take risks, right? That's for sure. So let's go ahead. That's why Jupiter is exalted in Cancer. So is Neptune. Okay, so wow, that's it. I'm gonna go ahead and cut him and start reading you. Oh, zebra cats. I'ma read. Also, try to see if you can find the Azalea Banks version of I'ma read. That's like a minute and some seconds. But then there's a remix with Zebra Cats, another girl, Gina, and Azalea Banks. Okay, I'ma read. Okay, so let's go ahead and start doing that. King of Swords, you need to create some boundaries, right? So that you can have a mind of your own. I feel like other people might be getting too opinionated about what it is that they feel like you should be doing. This says that you have a lot of ideas, right? Like I said, creativity. The King of Swords is referring back to the Four of Swords. And this is just saying that maybe there was too much time being spent on thinking about other people or even relationships. Now it's time for you to think about yourself and what it is that you want, right? It's bigger picture too. I feel like your perspective has changed, and also your perception of yourself has changed, as well as your perception of how you are seen by other people. You know what I mean? So it's kind of like, hey, yeah, let them see you differently. It's fierce, right? You weren't always going to look like you did when you were 3 years old. Change always happens every day of our lives, right? For sure. That's why we have 7 days out of the week. That's why we have night and day. That's why we have 12 months out of the year. That's why we have different numbers. Things change, okay? Let's go ahead and flip over. That's all I got to say about that card. Let's go ahead and flip over the next one. The Chariot, right? Things change moving forward. This is like Cancer energy, but then it's also talking about relating to your experience as it is encouraging you and motivating you to feel like what you are learning is getting you somewhere. You know what I mean? Because the King of Swords is Aquarius, and that motto is I know, right? Knowledge. Okay, and the Chariot is Cancer, and it's kind of like inner spiritual empathic knowledge, right? Things that just come to you from nowhere. You know what I mean? And it is talking about wisdom too, with the black horse and the white horse being there, because when you combine those two colors, you make gray, and gray is a color of wisdom and age. All right. But the Chariot is success, moving moving forward towards success. But you have to think for yourself. You know what I mean? You have to use what is special about you. That's what's going to get you to your place of success. It's not about doing things the way that other people have done them, or taking, you know, you can take advice from people, but, you know, it really is just advice. But the Chariot, again, consciously aware of change, right? Because the Chariot is Cancer, ruled by the moon. And I brought up Neptune before too, and it kind of does have a little bit of a feeling of that. And there's a little tiny wheel here, okay, which is related to like that energy of Jupiter and the Wheel of Fortune and things turning and moving, right? So now you're moving. The wheels on the Chariot are moving, right? And you're doing it, you know, kind of like single-handedly. Thinking about ways to, you know, show what's special about you. That's kind of like what we're dealing with too. A larger perspective. We're looking at big picture goals, right? Aspirations with the Chariot being here and it being a 7. It could be like relationships too, right? So the King of Swords, it's cold, a little bit emotionally attached. The Chariot is a 7, talking about relationships. You know what I mean? So maybe things will be different now moving forward. That's what it says with the King of Swords being here in the Chariot. Things are going to be different now moving forward. Right? Let's go ahead and flip over the other card. Right, Ace of Pentacles, new beginnings, new manifestation. It's also kind of like perfect planning that leads to something, right? It's like time has been spent waiting. Now you can come out and you can take advantage of something that has been meant for you to see. I don't know why I'm saying that. Yeah, it's been meant for you to see something, and it has to do with time. Time has shown you something, okay? And it's almost like time and experience is communicating with you. It's weird because as time goes by, we learn things and we grow and we change. And it's just so funny that the bear is almost like coming out of hibernation here. Yeah. I love it. With that ace there. And it is kind of like Mercury and Virgo. That type of energy. So it's like, what's necessary? You know? So this might be very necessary. And it's also talking about self-reliance. Self-reliance. Very important. You know? And that's why the King of Swords is here and the Chariot is here and then the Ace of Pentacles popped up. I can think for myself. You know what I mean? What do I want? That type of thing. I know what I want. Now I'm moving towards that thing. I'm feeling the change. You know, I'm experiencing the sense of motivation that comes from conflict, right? Trying to balance out that situation. That's what I said. And let's look over and see what's behind the King of Swords. 4 of Swords. Whoa. That's crazy. Because the King of Swords is related to the Emperor, which is 4 major arcana, right? This is low to light. And the 4 of Swords is here. You can think for yourself. Didn't I just say that? 4 of Swords related to Cancer. Related to the Emperor. Cardinal energy. What's your intention? What is my intention? I know my intention. Okay. And it's Jupiter in Libra. So it's talking about, you know, how you may have opened yourself up to others so much. And you got these swords here. And you are realizing where you may have been giving too much of your energy away. Right? All right. So you got ideas. You need to use them. Here we go. All right. The 4 of Death card behind the Chariot, right? Look at this. Chariot said, move forward. Put the past behind you. Stop worrying about things that you can't control. Stop trying to control these things in your ways that you do. You know what I mean? And I know what it's saying to me because I have a Cancer moon. So I'm definitely letting go of the ways that I feel like I want to control certain situations that I can't, that affect me emotionally, that make me feel like I want to do something about it. I'm not going to do anything about that. I'm going to do something about this right here. Okay? But the Death card is talking about fear of letting go, right? Because the 4th house here talks about endings. And it also talks about end of life. And when I think about my end of life, I want to make sure that I have gotten so much closer to having everything that I feel like I was destined to move towards. You know what I mean? That's when you feel like people are affecting you, or you feel like things are getting in your way, or there's certain boundaries set in place for you that you can't necessarily shake. You know, you could be setting those boundaries for yourself sometimes, or placing them there. So it's kind of like, think about what's important to you. And think about what motivates you, what you're passionate about. And then think about giving all of those things up. Then think about if you gave all of those things up, what it would be like on the day that you were to leave this realm. right? No resentment. We don't want that, right? We don't want to feel like we haven't been doing things the way that we were meant to do them, you know? Also, where have we been giving up control? Like I said, you might have been giving up control in some kind of way. This is about taking back control, right? By not being in control. You know, we're talking about strengths and weaknesses here. We're talking about tension. So you need to let go of this situation, whatever it is that has been plaguing your mind and has been controlling your mind, right? Obsessive about something, obsessively thinking about something perhaps. It's time to put a stop to that. You know, and the Death card talks about what intimidates you. What are you afraid of? And it's also power. The power of letting go. Finding peace. You know? Inner peace too. Let's look and see what's behind the Ace of Pentacles for you here. Five of Wands. So, Ace of Pentacles, Five of Wands. It's like, here's an opportunity for you to reassert yourself in a different way. Pulling away from the drama of others, trying to see, understand, and be consciously aware of where you might have been giving too much of your energy away. You know, what you might have been ignoring, right? And this is the ego not getting involved in ego conflicts with others, perhaps. Saturn in Leo also restricts the ego. It tests you. It tests your ego. Your ego is being tested. Right? Yes. And it's also saying, like, my attachments too. The attachments that you have to your ego. Right? I want to feel like it's understood who I am and what I can do. You are the only one that needs to. Because see, look at this. This is a card that talks about rest and recover with yourself. This is the opposite of that. Right? The fives are conflict. Fun and games. Right? How are you spending your time? So this could be talking about just spending your time being too interested in the workings of others or what other people might be doing with their time, not being bothered by what other people might be doing with their time. I did say control. Pluto is exalted in Leo, even though this is Saturn. But here we go. We got that energy of the Death card there. And then we have another 4 here, right? The Chariot is Cancer, the 4th house, which traditionally, you know, would be a house of endings and things like that. You know. But yeah. You know, think for yourself. It's a time of self-realization, and that's great. So Cancer, I would say focus on your gig. Okay, focus on your gig. Like, share, subscribe, comment, hit the notification bell, ding dong. Follow me on Instagram, it's Providence Tarot there, and my personal account is NYC Kendrick. And Cancer, I told you, follow the tongue pop. You will not be disappointed.